Do women know why men need sex? Most women know that their partners want sex, but few understand the need for sex. Men feel cheated in marriage. After having committed to make his wife his one and only sexual partner, most men find their new wives unwilling to have sex.
Not tonight, okay?
Some guys will toughen it out through their morals or religious values. Most of them won't make it. Others will indulge themselves by finding more willing partners. They may justify their actions by claiming it is the wife's fault for not taking their needs seriously. These men are the scum of society, and yet they're absolutely right. In our modern ultra-feminist society, no one wants to acknowledge when women are in the wrong for the fear of being offensive or sexist. When people see a couple in an unhappy relationship, they are quick to presume that it is the man's fault for not making more of an effort to support the woman. Here is the reality. Bad relationships go both ways. Negligence and abuse are never one-sided. They happen because both parties are refusing to look in the mirror and face their flaws. They prefer the easier path of reflecting the negative thoughts they have on themselves towards their partner. Then it's the partner who becomes the target of their mutual ridicule. This toxic mindset has to stop, especially when it comes to sex. Since the sexual awakening of the 60s, thousands of books have been published on women's sexuality. Most of these books went on to become bestsellers, while their writers were praised for their revolutionary discoveries became millionaires. Why? The reason for this is simple. Men want to please their women. They want to learn how to give their partners the best sex they'll ever have so that they will keep coming back to them for more. They care so deeply about their partner's satisfaction that they will spend their money on books, and they will actually read them. Can the same be said of women? Do women go out of their way to learn about what turns their man on, or pick up a book on men's sexuality? If you clicked on this video because you genuinely wanted to learn why men need sex in their relationships, then it's not too late for you. In this video, we will discuss the 4 pillars of a man's sexuality and how you can build a more genuine and passionate future with your partner. And as always, stick around until the end for a bonus tip that will help you apply these ideas with ease. Pillar 1, the biological imperative. Men often feel a sense of frustration in their marriages when their sexual needs are not met, and rightly so. Some would compare this to a child who wasn't getting what they want. They'll be upset, maybe have a small pout, but they'll get over it. Wrong. When people hear the word testosterone, the first thing they think of is a bunch of muscleheads throwing rocks at each other. And of course they do, because that's what they pay money for. Testosterone isn't the definition of toxic masculinity. It's the opposite. Testosterone is responsible for the regulation of a man's libido. Much like how ovulation causes physical discomfort and strong emotional responses, unbalanced levels of testosterone do the same thing for men. But unlike women who experience it monthly, men must deal with it daily. Renowned clinical psychologist and marriage counselor Dr. Willard F. Harley Jr. writes, "A woman can witness firsthand what an intense sex drive feels like by wearing a testosterone patch for a week to raise her level of the hormone to that of the average 19-year-old male. It's an eye-opening experience for women who usually don't want to repeat it." Sex is the way men can naturally regulate their testosterone, which in turn will aid in balancing the other chemicals in his body, which affect his mood and overall well-being. In short, yes, men do need sex. Pillar 2, early sexual development. Men typically explore their sexuality much earlier than women.
It's not what it looks like.
Often starting as young as 8 to 10 years old, men start to explore their developing sexual drives. Most women, on the other hand, don't start until their late teens, or even not at all. This division in experience can lead to friction caused by misaligned expectations. If left unchecked, this friction will threaten to burn down everything they had worked together to build. Creating a safe place where a man and woman can develop their intimate relationship together is crucial. Clarifying misunderstandings and removing unrealistic expectations of one's partner can set the stage for a more fulfilling and heartfelt connection. Men need sex, and the media knows this. That is why the majority of media and marketing use sex to attract the young male populace. They know what men want, and they also know how to give it. But what they offer will never fulfill a man's sexual need. The only true way for a man to have fulfilling sex is when his chosen partner joins him in the experience. Pillar 3, the role of evolutionary design. There are certain groups who preach equality, saying that the differences between men and women are minuscule and interchangeable. taking pride that women don't need men to be women. Here's the reality. Men and women are as different as the sun and the moon. They are not interchangeable and cannot be replaced by flashy trends. Societies and nations are built on the foundation of men and women being fathers and mothers. The reason humans are the dominant species on the planet is because the individual roles of parenthood are ingrained into our very genetics. Men's and women's bodies are designed with distinct survival mechanisms that influence their sexual behaviors. Men's instincts as providers and protectors are complemented by their biological drive for sex. When a man is fulfilling his role, his partner feels secure and less burdened by survival stress, thus becoming more open to exploring her own sexuality. This interplay between protection, provision, and sexual desire is a testament to the intricate design of our evolutionary biology. Pillar 4, the emotional connection. What do you think is the biggest thing men crave from sex? Is it excitement? Being praised? The feeling of being dominant? What men want when it comes to intimacy can range far and wide, but it all stems from the same root. The one thing men crave more than anything else in sex is emotional connection. Men who have multiple partners have expressed a deep level of dissatisfaction in most of their sexual encounters. Why? Because to them, sex is a leisure, nothing more than a form of recreation to pass the time and get away from their troubles. These men can have all the sex they want, but it won't satisfy them. They have been denied by others as well as themselves the most important role of being a man, which is to love and be loved in return. Sex is the most powerful and primal way for a man to feel joy and connection. When he shares this with a woman who is truly considerate of his needs and desires, it becomes one of his most treasured experiences. A man needs a partner who makes him say, "I like the person I am when I'm with you." He wants to feel important. He wants to know that his struggles and sacrifices are seen. He longs for a place where he can feel safe enough to be vulnerable without the backlash of ridicule and sexist comments. Sex is perhaps one of the most vulnerable places for him to be, and the woman he shares that with is the one with whom he will be the most vulnerable. In short, men need sex, but not just any sex. Men need sex accompanied by a deep emotional connection with the woman he loves. These are the 4 pillars behind why men need sex. If you understand these pillars, then talk with your partner about how you can best build your relationship together. And if you're serious about meeting your man's sexual needs, then there's one thing you absolutely must do. Today's bonus: explore your own sexuality. A one-sided relationship will always fail. Just as men and women are as different as the sun and the moon, so is every individual you will ever meet. What works for some people might not work for you. Maybe something others don't really think on will get your blood pumping. The strongest relationships are built with mutual growth. That goes especially for the times when you are most vulnerable with each other. You need to know what turns you on and what turns you off. That way, you and your partner can work together to turn on your ons and turn off your offs. Even if you're uncomfortable with it at first, taking the steps to better communicate with your partner can make all the difference. It can even make the difference to whether or not you feel alone in bed and your life. The need for sex in men is not merely a superficial craving, but a deep-rooted biological and psychological necessity. But ultimately, learning to enjoy one's own sexuality is a collaborative effort requiring patience, communication, and mutual respect. By embracing these differences and working together, couples can achieve a more harmonious and fulfilling sexual relationship. If you want to defend your right to love, then show some love by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching and best of luck.